Hi everybody, welcome to episode 7 of Karak Projects. I'm Hanan and thank you so much for staying tuned. For those of you who are first timers, please don't forget to watch episode 1 to episode 6. It's going to be as exciting as this episode. Thank you so much to our main partners and sponsors. It would not have been an amazing show without you guys. So as you guys can tell, today is going to be slightly different. I am dressed for the team. We are going to be talking about National Service Specials, which means Syed and Ahmad will not be here because they talk too damn much. Too much. So we want to hear more stories from our guests. So our two special guests will be Hefni, who is a financial consultant, and we have Danish, who is an actor.
And also a financial burden.
That is true. I am also one. Okay, thank you guys for coming down. Oh my god, Danish, the last time I met you was like 3 years ago when we were on set. We seem to always meet each other during sets. Yeah?
Yep, true.
And the best part about it is we have recently been in a series.
Yep.
And you are part of it.
Yeah,
so
you're also part of it, right?
Yes, that is true. It's called Jarring.
Jarring.
Don't forget to watch it on Me Watch. And also, how has COVID been for you guys? For you especially.
For me, COVID has been hell.
Oh dear.
I resorted to finding a full-time job.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how has it
I mean,
been?
that's not the hell part. Basically, it's like the first year of it was really difficult for everyone. I mean, for you and Hefni also.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the norm is totally different now.
Yeah, it's
and now we
totally
need
different.
to adapt to the current situation. So what to do? We make do with everything.
Yeah, that's true. And how about you, Hefni? How has like COVID been for you and
basically, it's not that easy as well. I think it's all about adapting to the new lifestyle. I mean, things change. We have to change also.
Kan?
So, and the main thing, I think everything is going digital right now. So for us also in the industry, everything has to be changed to more digitalized based platforms lah. Yeah.
I think that must be quite a challenge, especially because you have to adapt fast, right?
Yep.
It's all about adapting fast and quick. So, which brings me, are you guys ready to talk about your experiences during NS?
Yeah.
Then
Yep,
jump
let's go.
and give me 10!
Now?
Yes!
Now?
Yes!
Now?
Yes!
Hey, first.
Eldest
Apa
first.
ni?
Okay.
Okay, before that, let's go for a quick commercial break. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with you.
How long is it, the commercial break?
Sekejap je.
Okay.
I think about 2 minutes. Yeah, I think it's... How long do we have? No, just adjust. I think 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes.
So this one they don't see us, right?
No.
So, yeah.
That will be inappropriate. Hey guys, so thank you again for staying tuned to Karak episode 7. So a lot of you have been saying that we should talk about national service, and a lot of you have been commenting, saying that you guys have shared some scary stories about NS. So I've not actually been to NS, clearly. So I can't wait to hear the stories from Danish and also Hefni. So, Danish, would you like to share with me a little bit of your national service stories?
About my scary ones,
Yeah.
near-death experiences, or near-death experiences.
You pick lah.
Okay, I picked the least intense one. So
Okay.
basically, I bet Hefni has been at least charged once.
Not really.
Not really.
Bro, that's just you,
Oh, is it? I think it's just me. Okay. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, so I was there's this thing called what's it called? Extra duty.
Yeah.
Extra guard duty. You know, I mean, have you experienced it before? I assume. So there's this thing called extra guard duty. So I need to do it because I did something that I shouldn't be. That is bring my phone down to the parade square.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know my phone was inside. I was carrying a bag.
Lies. Confirm with it.
We learn how to lie.
Okay.
Okay, so what happened was I was assigned to this certain area called the sentry post. Okay, so the sentry post is basically isolated from other people, except for the guard post. It's just right the distance between me and the door behind the camera.
Okay,
There.
so that's about 3 meters.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just nearby. Then after in between there's a road. So on my left, beside the post was, you know, the red and white construction barriers. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Yep,
at the
the
construction
barricade.
site. Yeah, the barricade.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it was there. It was stationary since morning. So what happened was I remember it was 11:54. I was sleepy. I was drowsy. Next thing you know, I heard dragging sounds. It's like. After that, I looked to my left. The thing is moving straight,
Down.
and then it took a Tokyo drift to the left.
Oh, how's that?
So it's like, okay, if I put this as a diagram, okay, so it was moving like this, then it was a sharp left. Basically, if you see like drift racing, it's a left like that. So I was looking at it, it's like, okay lah, mungkin angin lah kan. So then my sergeant calls me, Dan, can you move that thing back? Okay, sleepy, walking over. Yang kan angin, pasal apa ringan lah kan? Pasal kalau dah gerak itu. Then when I decided to pull it back, it's heavy, you know.
Yeah, it
Oh
is
my
heavy.
God, yeah,
The red
right.
and
Yeah,
white.
the red and white. I thought it's just
Yeah,
like
it is
it's empty, so I just assume macam okay lah, this boleh angkat lah. Yang kan boleh angkat ataupun boleh move. You can move it easily. Turns out it's actually really heavy. I'm like, Jen, serious ah? And it's like, just ignore. So a few days later, the same sergeant that was on duty, he came to me and was like, you know you're not the only one that experienced that. I'm like, okay, first, that was my first guard duty and nobody told me about it.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Second is like, only now you want to tell me?
Okay. Do they usually prep you for this kind of macam spooky stories?
No, they won't naturally prep lah.
They will just
Unless
macam-
you bring it up and then
Yeah.
if they were to
It
reoccur, then probably will
Yeah,
say
it became a
something
matter
about
of discussion in
Yeah.
between the bunks. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what happened last night? Yeah, so.
Oh my god. Then, okay, for those of you who have... So, when you tell your friends, would they have that same stories?
They would have like
Relatively the same,
relatively the same, but in different variations. Some of them the chair moves. Some of them
Yeah.
like I was sitting here, but suddenly my chair is on the left. This kind of things. Those kind.
These things will happen with few people probably, and we have similarly the same stories.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Because when it happens to one person, and then some other our buddies, our fellow platoon mates might have the same experience, and then they'll share, and it becomes something like, it's really something, you know.
But also
Yeah.
maybe it happened in the same compound or around the same
Yeah,
area, so
probably.
it's like a normal routine for
So,
them.
kirakan, I think, would it mean that they just want to scare you? Or what do you feel? Like, do you feel like it's a ghostly presence, like evil, or they just nak takutkan you?
I would say that it's kind of like our sergeants. I would say that it's kind of like, you know, they just want to mess with us in a way. I mean, also, I'm a firm believer of like, we are here and they are here too.
Yeah.
It's like we are sharing the same space. So, kita hanya menumpang aja ke tempat diorang. Pasal ini tempat diorang kan. Kadang-kadang. Then we are also temporary applicants, is it? Occupants. Temporary occupants in that area. So, I mean, they just want to mess around with us and get used to us. Kalau macam, if somehow, you know, kalau kita mula mencarut or what, we would like to curse them, it's going to be totally different.
Worse, huh?
If we decided to like, okay, let's live with it. It's like, okay. I don't think it's gonna be like that.
I mean, when these things happens, usually we just ignore, just let it pass, and then nothing will happen. But it keeps happening again. So they're just trying to mess with us lah.
Oh my god.
That's what I believe.
I cannot imagine, yeah. I mean, being in that situation, I don't know whether I can be like so cool about it. But different people, different perspective, right? They would confirm have to conform and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna suck it up because bopian really, right?
Bopian saktam.
Okay, next level. Give me another one good one, one scary
Next
one.
level. Okay, that's basically like an introduction.
Okay.
An introduction to my unit scam. Okay. So the second part, this happened 1 year after, not really like an anniversary thing. It's more of like at the end of the year that we were receiving guests. From what I remember, we were receiving guests from another contingent. Okay. So having a track record of being in the media industry, they decided to have me stay back from a certain activity where they need to move out for 3 weeks. Okay. So I need to become like a MC or guest host for that event. Okay. Yeah, and then I plan certain things for that. So what happened was I was the only one that's in camp for my bunk. I was the only one or two people that is left in camp. Followed by 2 other people. Okay. So in one level, basically ada 4 orang. So what happened was, I was sleeping one night. So my bunk at night, they will tend to be very noisy at times when they were talking, especially when our Chinese brothers, they were like talking, exclaiming out like wow, blah, 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 the colourful language. Okay. So at one point of time, I was sleeping alone, and then I heard voices. What kind of voice? It was like, you know, when you're sleepy, it's like very blurry to you, right? Okay. So I heard these voices that's like unintelligent, like, you know, not really intelligent. It's like you can't really make out what they're saying. Okay. And also followed by you're sleepy. So when you're like muffled very drunk, very muffled. Okay. Then after, so my muscle memory of dealing with this kind of situations, like saying, "Oi." Okay. It's like because they would tend to like. Then after they would say, "Hey, sorry." Then after they will talk softer for 5 minutes. Then they will continue being loud. So my muscle memory just went, "Oi." Then after that, silence. Okay. Until I felt like something pressing down on me. Pressing down on me, and suddenly, you know how sleep paralysis works? Yeah. I can't move. I am aware that my eyes are open, but it's like full of color. It's like psychedelic itself. Then after that, I'm hearing the sounds. Oh my god. You know, I'm hearing these kinds of sounds where it's like very scary to me. Then all of the surah come out, surah Al-Fatihah.
Could you say it?
I was like, I don't know if I'm saying it
because from my subconscious.
I was subconscious
between fully asleep and not.
Yes,
right?
Yes. Then I don't know if I'm saying it or it's in my heart, but it's as though I'm actually saying it. Sampai all of the ayat kursi apa ni,
semua lah, everything.
Doa makan semua keluar, all of these kind of things come out. Then after a while, I start to relax. Okay, then I just go to sleep because I'm already too tired from it. The following night, I was alone still. But then I heard like, you know, for our bunks, they have this lock, right? Yeah. So whenever like nobody's there, the metal cupboard, then they have these number locks. Then they will lock it. Then when nobody's there, nobody can open their lockers and stuff. So what happened was, at night I heard like somebody playing with the lock. Okay. Then my mind is like, oh shit. I opened my eye. Then after that, I don't know whether I was just super sleepy or what, but I see like at the end it's like one figure like standing, and then automatically I know, wait, I'm the only one around. So I'm just okay, take my sleep mode, cover everything. Then I'm just okay, I'm not gonna deal with this tonight because after what happened a few days ago. So yeah.
Oh my god. That. Okay. In your experiences, can you see things? Do you have a third eye or macam?
For me, I'm unaware. I'm not sure, but so far I have not experienced it. Tak pernah lah.
Like you don't normally see it.
I don't normally see.
So I think macam in these cases, it's like because you're there. and you're in their territory, and then they are wondering who you are, and then they have all these occurrences. So would you say that you're kind of lucky that they orang tak kacau until like crazy? Because I've heard really scary ones, like they would mess with their mind, they'll move things, and then they would really disturb, like mess with your mind. But I feel like in your case, they just want you to know that they are there.
Yep.
Right?
It depends. Normally, I would understand that on the first level, they're just messing around just to test your patience. How would you react to that? So if you were to kind of acknowledge in a sense, okay, just let them do whatever they want and just carry on with what you were doing. Usually it's okay. They would try again, but those kind of examples are when you threaten them. Yeah, you do something that provokes them purposefully, then most likely those things will happen. So it's not literally nothing happens suddenly. They will like jump at you or do whatever nonsense like we saw in the movies. Not entirely true.
Yeah.
So it really depends. I'm not sure whether you agree with that.
The movies just scares us with all of these things when in actuality it's like, oh, if that happens, there was supposed to be something that happened before that actually, like cause and effect, it's like
so
a chain
really
reaction.
Based on your reaction towards things.
Yeah, basically.
What was this figure that you see?
Okay, from how I remember it, right, it's like, it was dark basically. It was like standing at one corner and it's just like...
I have a similar story. Okay, wait.
Okay.
Later I'll share.
Oh my god.
I think...
Okay,
might be
that was a BMT...
This was during my unit days.
Okay, unit days.
Yeah. BMT, alhamdulillah, tak ada apa-apa.
Okay.
Not directed to me lah.
Okay.
BMT good boy. Masuk unit macam setan.
Okay.
Okay, alright. So we're going to go for a short commercial break before we go into your story. So I can't wait. But oh my god, that's creepy. That is really a next level from your first story. But you have more stories for us, right?
Yep.
Okay, so stay tuned, guys. So welcome back to Kara episode 7. We're talking about National Service Special. So I've actually never dated anyone during National Service, so I don't really know much of their experiences. But I must say that everyone, my friends will always tell me stories about their tekong days. Everyone I knew would know about their tekong stories, and then they always have something to share. Whether it is they are the third eye or no third eye, they will just tell me stories and all their friends. So I never had like someone close to me sharing with me their experiences one-to-one, so I wouldn't know. But please, Hefni, do tell me stories. Fill me in on these tekong stories.
Alright, so for myself, I served from 2005 to 2007.
How young are you?
Not that young, not that old. So
Never ask someone their age.
Yeah, I mean like, maybe I'm not wearing my specs or something.
I mean, yeah, it's about, I think, more than 10 years ago lah.
Yeah.
So, okay, the first story I have is actually when I was doing my BMT, which is a basic military training. I think that's the first phase for every recruit that comes lah. So in Tekong, they'll give you your companies, they call it, you know, the different units that you're going to serve with for about 2 to 3 months. So I remembered that was in 2005. Basically, I had to stay back after that BMT phase because I had to do re-IPPT. Not because I failed, because I missed that slot that I was supposed to pass.
Nightmare. That's a nightmare. That's a scary story.
Oh, that is the scary story.
Yeah, I'm not even beginner. But anyway, yeah. So there were about, I think, 7 to 8 of us in the whole company of about probably 40, 50 of recruits. So I think we were stationed in one of the empty buildings lah. So the companies are, you can imagine a 5-story building or 4-story building of about 4 different rooms on each level. So imagine just 7 or 8 of us just in that whole building, and the whole island technically in that BMT section is totally empty. Yeah. So we had to spend about probably 2 nights and to train and to retake that IPPT, which is a physical training or assessment lah. Yeah. So one of the nights, I think the first night after dinner, and then we had our kind of we were told to lights off, meaning the timing to sleep lah, so-called lah, which was about 10:30, 11. So the bunks were, imagine 5 beds on each side. So as you enter the room, each side there's 5 beds. It's not a double, the bunker bed. It's a single bed, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And in between each bed there's a metal cupboard. It's a
yeah,
very
yeah,
prominent.
yeah. It's like a wardrobe gitu kan.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of prominent for I think most recruits lah.
Yeah.
I think it's unchanged ever since, right?
Yeah, I don't think they changed that. So it's always a metal cupboard. So I remember I was somewhere sleeping on the right side as you enter the room, somewhere in the center, and on my right there's my buddy, on my left there's no one else. And you know, the night was only 11 lah, so I decided to hear some music. That time was the earpiece with the wires, not Walkman time not. It's still macam from my phone lah. So I was sleeping like, I think like what you mentioned lah, halfway into my sleep. Then I heard some rumbling sound near my right side, which was where the metal cupboard was. Yeah, and so I was like, was it from the song that I'm hearing, or it's not? So I just tried to open my eyes. Before I fully opened my eyes, I saw the same black figure just beside the foot on my bed, on my right.
Looking at you?
I did not even get the chance to look up at how tall that thing was. But it was damn tall. It was like I was like opening halfway, right? Then I was looking up, and then I think halfway through I decided to close back my eyes. I laid very still. The earpiece was still. Yeah, so I knew my buddy was beside, you know. I couldn't make it. Was it my sergeant or was it? But it was definitely not, because it was not in any attire. You know, there's a what you call it, the PT kit. Okay, PT kit is just your admin, your just a polo tee or probably a singlet, a shorts, and probably shoes or slippers. It wasn't even in the army uniform. So it was more of a silhouette. So I couldn't really tell what was it, but I noticed it was very, very tall. It couldn't be any normal human whatsoever. Yeah, so the position that so-called that thing was standing was towards my body, not me. So in my head,
so it's directed towards your body.
Correct. It was like slanting towards my body on my right. So I was like, I think I was on my right. So I was looking at it very clearly. Yeah. So but I couldn't really make out the whole figure or how detailed it was, because like I said, I was just opening my eyes for a few seconds, and then I closed my eyes until morning lah, basically. And I never told anyone that story. Yeah, because I was still kind of was in this belief that whether this was actually my dream or not. But I was very sure I was quite awake.
Bah kata mamai lah.
Correct, yeah. Actually, it's not really in subconscious mode. It was just about to fall asleep. Yeah, so that was the first and shortest story I have lah.
Oh my god. Speaking of which, like I had this friend who was in this who's in this same situation as you that time. This is just out of my head because I remember this story because you mentioned the wardrobe, kan? So my friend can see things. Okay, so I'm not so sure why. He was seated, like where he was seated is, or where his bed was is right in the middle. And then when he had all this, I don't know what's it called, like all these people coming in for like these soldiers coming in, like you guys lah, basically coming in.
Enlistment.
Yeah, and then there was one night he was also listening to music. He was listening to music, and then suddenly he heard like
Heavy breathing.
very heavy breathing, but very subtle. So he was sleeping in the middle, and then he woke up. He saw like the wardrobe on his far left open slightly, and it doesn't make sense for it to open. And then it opened, and then he saw like a woman or a woman figure dragging herself out of the wardrobe. Dragging herself out of the wardrobe, and then she keeps like pulling herself, like she cannot walk, so she's like pulling. Then she was like,
dragging herself.
yeah. So he was, wow, it's damn scary, but yeah. So he was saying, but he was just watching it, but that thing just didn't care that he was watching or not. So he was just pulling itself over to his mate that is sleeping just beside. So he was wondering why, and then the figure just plonked herself onto him, in the bed with him, and just clinging onto him. So then when they go for exercise the next day and stuff like that, he can feel like he's so tired. He's always running. Like when you guys do drills, he's extra tired. But he's a fit guy. So he started talking to this guy lah. Hey, what's up? Because you guys can go back home, right? After the weekend.
Correct.
So when he came back, he said like, oh, I've been having like this fights with my girlfriend. It's been a long time. She's forcing me to get married, and then stuff like that. And then suddenly, he realized that the girlfriend was actually using something on him. So it's like kena pukau, it's like
She hantar barang.
Wow.
So to cling on to this guy lah.
So that he won't leave her?
Or something like that. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know the context of it, but then he said that this person sent something, and this thing is guarding him, but draining his life out of it lah. So he was telling him, hey, I think I need to tell you something. Like there's this woman who is now like watching us, you know, but then she's not saying anything. But she wants, like, she's always with you. And then my friend's friend just stood there, and he was like, okay. And then like the next week did happen, he committed suicide.
Oh, serious?
The friend or
the friend?
your friend?
Not my friend, not my friend.
The friend.
guy. Because and the way my friend said it was, he felt like, oh my god, like I know exactly what you're talking about. And he looked just so stressed, and he's just so drained, and that thing seems to be like just mentally exhausting for him. And my friend will never forget the heavy breathing of like just pulling herself towards the guy.
Oh, that's scary, man.
Yeah. So I think that maybe sometimes in these situations of it's just, as NS men at that time, is really playing with your mind. You know, you really have nothing to...
Talking about that,
right?
So does something cross my mind? Has this happened to you waking up on your bunk bed, right? You realize there's just one long strand of hair.
Yes.
This has happened
to almost
everyone. A lot of people.
Really?
Yeah, no,
Serious.
serious. It's not like I mean,
I mean, it can't
There will
be
be
any of
girlfriend
us.
ke,
No,
girlfriend ke?
no, it's not possible. It's not
Eh,
possible.
takkan girlfriend nak swimming begitu kong?
No lah, I don't know. Maybe
I
on
mean,
your
before
baju
the night
ke.
before, that it wasn't there. I faced this twice in my 2 years. Yeah.
Have you?
I like if it's not me, it's always a buddy. Or at least we
Yeah,
know somebody
we know
from
someone
that,
that has
from that
experienced
area.
it. I experienced myself. Yeah, and it's really long. One strand, just one strand.
Very long.
And you just imagine all of us are botak.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right. Then where does the hair come from? But then also there's also another thing called. Have you heard about this thing called the tekong air?
What? Again, tekong hair?
Tekong air.
Air?
Basically, air.
Air.
Angin. Udara.
No,
udara.
no.
Udara.
So basically, like once you are in the ferry, right?
Yeah.
You're on the way there. Next thing you know, you don't feel well. You start to feel like you.
Oh,
Start,
that's.
yeah, I don't know if it's just recruits
That's just
in
an
denial
excuse
or
lah,
what.
probably. I don't know.
Maybe
I
it's a
don't know.
recruits in denial or what. But then it's like a normal occurrence where people will start to feel unwell and like macam tak kena dengan the area around there. You know?
It's
So-
like there's something amiss lah.
Yeah,
but
so it's like maybe.
I've sent my friends over to Tekong before.
Bestnya.
Yeah, I've sent. I'm that sweet friend who sent. Then they're always with botak and stuff lah. But like I cannot imagine like what you guys go through. Please, is there an upscale to your
Okay.
level 2 of your story?
So this actually happened to me a while later after I became a sergeant in Tekong itself lah. So it was around the same area lah. So I had to overnight during the weekends in camp when everyone is back at home, you know. And I was a duty sergeant or specialist that has to kind of be the admin person to take care of that 4-story building, which is a company lah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, we have rotation basis, meaning I'll normally take over another sergeant.
Okay.
So the period we need to be there is about probably 24 hours, right? So before I came in, it was in the morning of that weekend. I realized that the sergeant before me, which is my colleague in a sense lah, he was telling me, "Hey bro, yesterday there's something that happened inside the company office. Okay, is that when he was about to sleep, okay, the previous night, when the lights were turned off, from, you know, as you come into the company office, it's quite a big area, and then at the end of it there's a small cubicle where it's kind of being hidden from the main view lah. So you have to go in and turn left, you know. So there's where the company sergeant major sits lah. Basically, that's his so-called office. So he started to hear a very very subtle kind of what call it hymns. HYM.
Oh, it's like
Sorry, it's a humming sound.
Oh.
Humming, like a very young lady's voice humming. Yeah, it was so clear. And this colleague of mine, he's a kind of he doesn't believe in ghosts or supernatural, so he's always like acting very proud, you know. But when he was telling me, he was still shivering from the experience. So what he did, the funny thing was, he went to another building and kind of stayed with another sergeant from another building. Because of that, he couldn't stay at that company office. Yeah, and that happened to a few other colleagues after that. Okay, but the thing was, I was the one who was supposed to take over after that night. He was to hand over to me. So what I did, I contacted the previous sergeant from the other building, and he kind of acknowledged that, yes, yesterday night I think your colleague, I mean this guy, okay, our friend, he told me this, and both of us kind of didn't know what to do because literally there's no one in camp, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did not sleep. I just switched on the light till morning. I was just sitting down and really dozing off because I couldn't imagine myself sleeping.
Yeah,
And they mentioned, okay, based on an account from one of the young recruits lah, who basically has a third eye. It was a very young lady that supposedly is the kind of penunggu of that building. She roams around the building and happens to be decided to disturb but not in a scary way. But it is scary lah. Yeah. So
she wants her presence to be known.
correct. And ever since, I think whoever did the kind of duty overnight, especially weekends, right, will never switch off the light. Yeah. Until from that point onwards, because the story was being told and told and told. Yeah. So I mean that, but I can still remember how he described it. It was very, very scary. So then I think because a lot of stories happen during my time there. That's just one of it lah.
Yeah.
So the other thing was, I remember one of my very close buddies in BMT. He was in a different section, a different room basically. So for example, I was in one of the rooms, and then he mentioned to me, you know, when you want to go to the toilet at night, right? We are kind of encouraged to go in buddy system lah, especially in BMT in our recruit days. You're supposed to have your buddy and you're supposed to wake him up. Hey, I want to go to the toilet. Please accompany me. It sounds very, but that is how it is in the army actually. Yeah, but that night his buddy decided not to because I think was too tired. So he just okay lah. I just go myself lah. He went, and you know the toilets there's a sensor that you go in, the light will come on, right? So he went in. He did his whatever he needed to do, and then as he was washing his hands, he realized there's someone else in another cubicle. But only when he wanted to come out. But he realized that actually, no one actually came in with me. Yeah, it was, I think he mentioned about 2-3 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, that's not the scary part yet. As he was walking along the corridor, I think you can imagine along the different sections, right? Because his room was kind of far ahead. He needs to come across, somewhere in the middle, third or fourth section. Yeah, correct. So he needs to cross 2 rooms. He literally heard the heavy breathing, that what you were sharing, something like that, just behind him. Again, he did not want to turn back. He's a positive type to say that, I mean, this is just probably my imagination lah. Then when he laid down on his bed, he covered himself the blanket. You know, it's just a single size bed, very small.
Super small.
But at the back of his, somewhere he was turning to either left or I can't remember. Something pressed on the bed beside him, and he cried. Yeah, he literally cried, and he couldn't even open his eyes. So he's like, he cried till he slept lah. Until but he felt the you know, the pressure
like,
from.
it's like,
Yes, correct. Yeah. Yeah. So that is where, I mean, it happened within that area lah, basically.
A friend of mine, basically a bunkmate of mine, had a similar story where he was confined for a week. Then after that, he was alone. He went to the toilet. He felt something similar like
Same,
that.
right? Yeah.
He came back. Instead of pressing, he covered himself, because during that time our beds were double deck beds. So below,
so kira kan upgrade
lah basically, younger generation.
Okay.
So below that there's the grills and stuff,
Yeah.
right? So impossible for somebody to do anything lah. And it's also impossible for somebody to do anything because there's nobody else except for the sergeants in the first floor. So what happened was, dia dah selubung diri dia. Lepas tu rasa kaki dia macam ada orang.
Oh my god.
You mean press on his feet or?
Macam it's like you can tell that somebody like holding on to your leg, or as if like touching it, you know, can feel it. So that's what happened to
Oh
this
my
bunkmate.
god, I know. One of my friend mentioned they feel this person holding the leg, and then like macam with force lah, but then not so squeezed up. And then he baca, and then he just fell asleep. The next day, it was handprint.
Yeah,
on
there's
him.
some bruises or something,
It
right?
was bruised.
Yeah.
A hand tau, like you can see the thumb, you can see the hand just grabbing onto the leg and bruised.
Actually, this is a version I've not heard of, but what I've heard of, there's not say a legend lah. There's a popular story where a whole bunk, everyone has an experience where at night someone pulls the blanket. Yeah,
I heard of that.
Yeah,
Oh
I think
my God.
I can't remember which time was it, tapi it's kind of a popular story where a lot of people have shared. Yeah, it's not just from one person, it's a lot.
I mean, it's a timeless story from people that experience national service.
Yeah, man, like I can't even wrap my head around it. Can you imagine if people like pulls it slowly, or people pull it fast? Oh my god, both is scary.
Yep.
I can't decide whether it's scary, like which one's scary. So anyway, let's take a breather and let's go on another commercial break, and then we'll have more stories when we came back. So welcome back to Karak episode 7. Thank you so much for staying tuned to our session. So now we're going on to our last few stories from Danish and also Hefni. Thank you so much. And now I'm ready to hear more stories. Take it away, Danish. Your last scariest story.
Okay. This didn't happen to me, but it happened to a friend of mine. Okay, so basically we had this very big scale outfield camp for basically BMT. This is BMT, but it didn't happen to me. But we had this outfield camp, then after we got we have this like remit off or something like that. We get like extra days off. So we decided, okay, once we book out, we're gonna have some fun basically go makan, not really have some fun but it's like go for a late night out and like go makan or something. But then we changed our uniforms and stuff. So what happened was my friend, he didn't bring his extra baju. So he still, you can tell that he actually went for outfield with the boots. You can tell. You can see like there's some, there's some damages to it. So what happened was his girlfriend greeted him at the usual waiting area. So then after that, you join us. I know the girlfriend. She is really noisy. Okay.
Well, but she's very noisy. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she's really noisy. I love you. But but then for that day, she was noisy for like half an hour. Next thing you know, she started to not be herself. Like suddenly it's like
quiet.
I think at that point of time, I thought she was reserving herself because it's like, oh, maybe I'm too quiet or what. But she has no self-awareness sometimes. Okay. Sorry again.
Same.
She has no self-awareness sometimes. So then it's like a bit off. As a friend, I see it's like, okay. Then what happened was, me and two other guys, we were like sitting around an area. Kita tengah berbual lah, Then after he said, okay, I'm gonna send her home lah. I think she's also not feeling well, he said. So what happened was when he walked off, we were talking, then a few minutes later he came, hey, mata aku pingsan. She fainted. Then after that we were like, oh shit. Then after that, I think maybe then I thought, oh my god, cardiac arrest. Then after that,
wow.
We all ran towards her. Then after that, she's laying on the floor. Then I was like, the boyfriend was like, hey, what happened? Next thing you know, I was like, hey, the other three guys, we don't know what to do. It's like, what happened? I want to call ambulance or what? I thought she was just playing around or what. Next thing you know, dia tiba-tiba macam, dia bangun, dia start meracau It's like macam, Then it's like, okay, that is not her. I was like, okay.
Where was this? Outside?
This was outside dekat bawah block.
Means on the way reach the house.
Like, you're already like at the lift. I think they had their moments or what. Next thing you know, she collapsed. Then after that, she start to meracau. Then a friend of mine, he just said, baca ayat kursi. Little did we know that we didn't know about this, that if we straight away baca ayat kursi, it does more damage.
Oh, really?
Turns out that I will explain to it after that. Okay. So what happened was, bila dia start meracau tu, there were like three guys holding her down lah. Then after that, the boyfriend was like calling the mom, "Cik, ini tengah meracau."
Oh, three guys had to hold her down.
Three guys. Yeah. I mean, we were skinny guys. We're not that strong, but but then it's still something.
Yes, okay, Hefni.
Yeah, it's like you know that she's overpowering us.
Yeah.
Really. Then after that, when the mom come, it's like, okay, then dengan apa ni, Anwar Astaghfirullahaladzim, then after that baca, then after that she relax, she pingsan. Next thing you know, okay, just bring her up. Then after that we go home.
Okay.
A week later, we got a call from my friend. He said, Dan, we need to go this place lah. Okay. Need to go jumpa this makcik. So basically what happened, this friend dah consult satu makcik ni, and the mum was like, okay, you all need to go. You need to go, pasal maybe might also include all of you also. So the four of us just go there, and with the girlfriend also, 5 of us, we went there. Then she laying down, another makcik was standing on one side. She was like looking outside. She was like looking outside the window. She was like, as though she's in thought. Then the makcik that was like tending to her suddenly talk to my friend. He's like, kau ada pijak apa-apa tak? Kau ada pergi mana-mana ke? Lepas tu, then my friend bilang lah yang, kita sebelum tu kita dari outfield. Baru balik outfield, straight away balik. Lepas tu dia tanya, kau, to my friend kau ada dah tendang apa-apa ke? It's like, then my friend tak tahulah. It's like, don't know what's going on. Apparently, from the explanation of the makcik is, my friend accidentally kicked one of these unseen's. So
during the field camp.
During the field camp. So dia dah tertendang anak dia.
I see.
So mak dia datang ikut balik. And sad case, yang matai dia tu at that point of time was having the time of the month. Was having tengah uzur lah. So somehow it attracted to her. Then after that, gerbak-gerbuk, that happened. But what made it worse was, she told us, lain kali kalau benda ni terjadi lagi, baca Al-Fatihah dahulu sebelum kita lanjutkan dengan ayatul kursi. Sebab apa kita baca Al-Fatihah untuk mereka. Jadi, dan ayat kursi itu, from what I remember, is like untuk kita tenangkan keadaan lah. Something, it's a certain explanation like that.
So
I don't know
process,
if it's there's a certain steps that we need to do. We didn't know.
I think at that period of time, we just don't know what to say or don't know which one to. We
Actually,
just
most people will start with that surah.
So ayat kursi.
Ayat kursi first normally.
Normally it's like we just.
But Allah Alam, we really don't know macam which one we should start first. But I'm glad that both sides feel that we should baca surah, whatever surah lah. At that same period of time when this is happening. But how's your friend? Like macam your
at the point of time or now?
As in now, macam how did it just disappear?
It just gradually
gone.
It just gradually disappears. It's like macam dia pun nak storytelling.
Okay.
It's like how to say, because of that incident, dia cakap okay, rajinkan minum air ni. Dia dah baca dah baca ayat kat dalam air tu, lepas tu dia minum. Just keep doing that for every night. Then alhamdulillah she got better lah. Alhamdulillah dah kahwin korang
Alhamdulillah. That ended well, that story. So, your turn to shine.
Alright, so this is quite a long story. I tried to make it concise lah. So I was 2 years in Pulau Tekong, right? So I had 5 batches of recruits that I was kind of supposed to be with. So when I was about to clear my leave before I so-called ORD, meaning in my 2 years lah. So this last batch was a bit special because it was something that has never happened during my 2 years. And then during field camp also. So field camp basically is a 7 days, 6 nights outfield where you don't go back to camp with the nice buildings, you know, you get to shower. So we literally will be in the inner parts of Pulau Tekong, and during like 7 days we have probably about 3 campsites that we have to shift from day to day within that 7 days. So I remember that one night, there's this area, I think those who went to Tekong should know, the oil palm plantation. Yeah. So
I don't know.
okay, so a very beautiful place actually.
Oh,
it's
nice.
just a very, very big area where there's lots of oil palm trees and all aligned literally in line.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically that was our campsite for that night. Okay, and it was Malam Jumaat. Okay. So, and because for whatever reason I forgot, our CO is not sorry CO OC. CO was a bit higher lah.
Too high.
OC means officer in charge lah.
Okay.
For that company decided to make us shift our campsite to somewhere else, somewhere nearby. Then we had some time to kill, so I gathered my men, seated down in the open area. I sat on the small field chair, you know, and I know for a reason I wanted to share ghost stories lah, just to make the mood even.
Yeah, you
I
just
mean,
make,
if you watch all our episodes, there's always a group of people who just decides to
Yeah,
broadcast
I don't know,
ghost
I don't
story
know
lah,
why,
kan?
but
yeah, and in every field camp there's always that one sergeant that sees your scared recruit.
yeah. Okay, so
One sergeant.
imagine like I think 20 odd of them lah. Just seated. It's not like really in line. Macam just nak lepak kan. So just seated around, and then I was sharing halfway through. Okay, the OC called. Okay, let's move. There's one of the recruits approached me. Sergeant, I need to tell you something lah, but later. Hey, what was it? No, I can't tell you now. Okay, tak apa lah. So, and then when we move from that oil palm plantation, imagine walking for about probably 1 kilometer. No,
Okay,
not
not that
that
far.
So the new campsite is an abandoned 1-story building with 4 rooms.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, very, very near. It's at near the helipad.
Yeah. We won't
Okay,
not
anyway,
allowed to go there.
it's used for training. It's not meant for someone to stay there or not. It's just
Okay.
units coming to
Training
Pulau Tekong
field.
to train.
Okay.
There are no doors that close the rooms. There's
Okay.
a back door, there's a front door. All are kind of let open lah. Okay, so as we walk, I was a real scout. I did not feel very good at that point. I started to feel something. There was 11 plus at night. As we came, and then all of the recruits went to their respective rooms. They are supposed to change, not really change, powder bath. You know, we don't have a shower there lah.
Okay.
So we use a tin or tub of powder and just pour. That's called powder bath.
Okay.
Before.
Totally do understand.
So as they did that, okay, everything was fine. It was dark, but there was moonlight. Okay, but that's how it is actually. So as just everyone was settled down, the commanders, the sergeants, the sergeant major was there. The officers were there. So probably we call it. I mean, this group of commanders were about probably 6-7 of us were just outside chatting. You know, waiting for all the recruits to sleep. As we were about to settle down ourselves, suddenly one recruit came out, came and talked to one of the sergeants. I mean, my colleague that time said that, Sergeant, I think you need to see this buddy of mine lah. So and so lah. He's not feeling well. He feels very cold. So okay, come. Then bring him out. You know, the medic was around. So and I kid you not, the temperature was very, very. I can't remember the actual temperature, but it was very, very cold. And he stood silent. He couldn't even say a thing. So his buddy dragged him out, and then we didn't know what to do. The medic tried to take the temperature, check the blood pressure and stuff like that. But within few minutes, right, he had to be evacuated.
Oh my God.
Went to the rover, went back to camp. Okay, that's the first part. Okay, after that, the whole atmosphere literally changed because we started to feel not right. Like, imagine, I think, I don't know if you've been in that situation where the 6 or 7 of us, okay, the rest of the recruits are asleep, you know, they are quiet. It was about 1 a.m. We were looking at each other kind of in understanding okay, there must be something going on. And then one of them came to me and whispered in my ears, hey bro, actually just now the unit before us, when we came in, had warned us already. They saw the kacik just at the back of one of the rooms. They saw before Maghrib.
Rocker.
I mean, what? Okay. And he did not tell anyone because he's like, should I tell or not? Okay, but imagine that, and when this happened, oh, okay. But the rest of the five of them felt the same vibes, you know. Okay, there are two regulars with okay. Regulars are people who sign on to the army. They have been serving for longer than us. They are the national servicemen, right?
Yeah.
So after that, all of us sat down in a circle. All of us with our field chairs, right, just outside the compound. I mean, there's a stretch of a compound. All of us were silent and looking down on the floor for no reason. We are so scared.
Oh my
Don't
God.
know why.
Yeah.
And then the first time I heard more than probably different variations of the howling of dogs that I never heard before. It's not a bark, it's howling. Yeah, somewhere in the nearby.
Okay.
For a stretch of about 1 hour, for example.
What would that mean?
I don't know, we don't know, but we know like these kind of animals can sense, you know, when something. But definitely it's not a normal. I wouldn't think on a normal basis you will hear this kind of.
There's a rumor that says that if like you hear a dog howling or what, that means they saw something. Yeah.
That's
the rumor.
Correct.
Like.
So,
God.
I mean, we were sitting down and then looking at each other, don't know what to say, and then after some time, I mean, that guy went back to the medical center already lah. So we open up our field, we call it field beds, you know, the foldable beds. Yeah. They started to sleep until the dog sounds died off, and then I think I remember it was 3-4 a.m. I wasn't asleep. None of us could sleep at that point in time. Okay, so there's this one sidetrack. One point. Have you ever heard at Tekong, right? There's this famous call to pray the azan.
Yes, I heard. Tapi
in my tours, I heard a lot of times. At weird timings. Not they say it's from our neighboring country lah, from a nearby island lah.
They say it's from Indonesia or something.
It was 4 a.m. It was 4 a.m. It was very subtle, not too loud, but you can really hear clearly. So I heard a lot of times before, but that night I heard. I remember the timing. It was 4 a.m. Okay, so to cut the story short, okay, then that night ended. Okay, so I didn't know what happened, and the next day I was back at home to clear my leave. I didn't know what I did. I mean, I didn't know what was going on after that. What happened to the recruit, right? When I came back about a few days later, that recruit was in the company office, lying down, being observed by the commander because he still had a fever.
Oh dear.
Still. So then I came in the morning. I had to leave at night. Before I left to take the ferry back to Pasir Ris, right? I was called by one of the sergeants who were in the company office with that recruit. Hey bro, can you come and help or not? One of the recruits that's out of course, meaning an injured recruit that cannot serve, he just becomes a kind of a clerk in the office. He said he saw something. So apparently this clerk, the recruit that couldn't serve, he has a third eye. So what happened was, okay, I'm trying to cut the story short. This guy who was sick, right, from that field camp, saw that penanggal in one of the bushes where he tried to pee lah.
Oh.
And the thing, he go and scold vulgarities to that thing.
Ya Allah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So he triggered
It.
So
he
it angered,
himself, yes, he was there. So after this thing ended, so actually that's what he told us. Yeah, when he told that story, some of the sergeants go and like, why you go and scold like that? But then he realised lah.
Yeah.
But this recruit was very, how to say, kind of like a bit arrogant, macam not afraid of anything, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. So when that happened, it snowballed into him getting that all those things.
All those things, right?
Yeah.
Happening.
So it took him 1 week to go back medical center, come back, still not cured. Yeah. So in that 1 week, actually, to sum it off, some of us, actually, me and another sergeant, a colleague, we kind of said some prayers. I mean, tried to wash him off like everyone
Try
was
to help
watching.
the
Okay, in the bunk, right, in the toilet, right, was an open door, right? So me and another colleague was sitting on a chair with just his shorts. So I had one of our other two recruits together to read some prayers in the water and just kind of not shower him lah, like just throw some water. Yeah.
Rangers.
Yeah. And the accounts of that other recruit, okay, who saw what was happening, the one with the third eye, said that thing was literally there, running from, not running lah, I mean moving from this place to this place, you know, like kind of tak tenteram lah. Yeah. So after that night when I came home, then after that I heard 1 week later, then baru he's cured. Yeah.
So it's basically like using the recruit as a vessel or something. Right?
Correct. Yeah, because that's what he did. He then we asked him lah, after he's okay already. Then he said, yeah, he did scope vulgarities.
So moral of the story is, yeah, guys, please try not to aggravate the situation. If you have the opportunity or korang macam bump into it, I think the best way is to just ignore and just like internalize your fears and baca your doa, say your prayers just to calm yourself and just to really move on with that situation. And I guess arrogance won't help lah in this situation, kan? Because we never know what the outcome will be like. So thank you so much, Hefni, and also Danish, for sharing with us your stories. And hopefully, you know, our viewers get to learn something about this situation and, you know, feel more inclusive, because there are a couple of people who tells us a lot of story about their national service scares, and I guess with you sharing these stories make them feel more, gives them rationalizing their fears, their stories, and make sense of their situation.
Actually, there's a saying that says that jangan takut mereka. Jangan takut mereka.
Okay.
Do not fear them. It's just that we need to, you know, because kita semua ciptaan Tuhan.
Yes.
So we need to coexist and live together lah.
Yes.
Because this is also their place and we are sharing it with them.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I can understand that people fear things that we can't explain, but we must always remember who is greater lah.
Yeah.
Kan?
Yeah.
Inshallah, like who is the creator of all these creations, including us.
Yep.
Right? So with that, we are wrapping up episode 7 of Corrupt Projects. Thank you so much. We have something small for you. And also Danish.
Wah, Hari Raya.
Thank you.
Hey, siapa ni?
Cakap tak datang.
Oh,
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Okay, so don't forget, guys, please follow Corrupt Projects. Follow us, subscribe to us, and if you guys have any stories you'd like to share with us, don't forget to email us at joinkara@gmail.com. Don't forget to watch all our other episodes 1 to 6, including 7 if you missed it. You guys will enjoy it. And also, I would like to thank our sponsors and our partners. We have, give me a second, we have Gusto Showroom, and we have also Mighty Fine Bros. Thank you so much for having us, and we love you guys. We also have, we are also supported by Madbuff. We are also supported by Daging Harimau Menangis. Love the products there, and also Quofic. Sponsored by Agent Shahid, the Haelarix Studio for all these special products. We have Cupinc also. Cupinc SG, Royal Fragrances, Pezzo. Please silakan, jangan lupa makan later. We have the Crush Theory, Lulu Beaute SG, and Zarina Begum tea. Korang must try the tea and
Wah,
kopi.
try dah tadi 3 kali.
Sedap kan?
Sedap.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining and staying tuned for episode 7. Please catch us, follow us, subscribe to us, and we will catch you guys later next week. Inshallah.
Bye.
Bye.